Welcome everyone. So this is the first chapter of the topic of the basically course that we are discussing at the moment, which is computer hacking and forensic investigation. Let's move further to start the course. Case scenario. Basically, let's say an organization has been called to investigate the data theft case in the other organization. The team of forensic experts has analyzed the situation, acquired evidences, and they have found suspect. Furthermore, the case has been filed, and on the basis of the strong evidences, two employees have been found guilty. So it sounds very cool, right? A short story, but this particular story is based on a science. We call it a computer forensic or computer forensic science. The experts have used modern techniques, tools, methodologies, and processes to find and collect the evidence. This is what the objective of this particular course. The objective is to teach you the process to collect and analyze the devices. Well, if you are working in IT industry, and especially in IT security, and if you manage the network, you should understand computer forensics. Forensics basically is the process. Let's discuss the basic definition of the process of the computer forensics. So the forensics is the process of using scientific knowledge for collecting, analyzing, and presenting evidence to the court. While what about the computer forensics? Computer forensics is when the digital devices, or I should say the electronic devices rather than digital devices, because electronic devices are everywhere. It might be let's move. Computer forensics, I was discussing computer forensics. So computer forensics involves the obtaining and analyzing information for use as evidence in the civil, criminal, or administrative cases. In computer forensics, the laws and the legal laws and the legal processes are very important, because the overall work is directly linked with the legal process and the legal cases. So basically you should understand them. Well, let's move further. So this is the basic definition of the computer forensics. What about the computer forensics process? Computer forensic process is very important because you need to understand the every step that required to complete the action, or to acquire the evidence and to present the evidence. The computer forensic process is actually based on the four important stages. I'm going to discuss all of these important stages one by one, so you need to understand these stages. The first stage, or the first step, is in the computer forensics is to identify potential sources of data and acquire data from them. As you can understand that there are variety of data sources are available. For example, the electronic devices, the digital devices, for example the hard drive, the USB or flash drive, the CD, DVD, and even the network information. So there are many sources out there. There are many sources possible from where you can acquire the data, and in which the data is available, by the way. So first you need to identify the possible sources of data, and then you need to acquire the data. Identification is not enough. This collection process, is the combination of both these to identify the sources of data and to acquire the data. Well, how you are going to acquire the data is altogether a different topic, and we will see practically how to acquire the data. So what about the examination after collection? After identifying potential data sources, the forensic expert needs to acquire the data from the sources. Data acquisition should be performed using the standardized process. So what are the standardized process? Let me take a brief overview of the standardized process. You will witness the process because I'm gonna show you how to acquire the data. First of all, you should create a plan. You should have a plan in your mind, because plan is very important. You should have a plan of how you are going to acquire the data, and then you need to actually implement the process to acquire the data. This is the second step, and the third step is to verify the integrity of the acquired data. Verification is very important, that you are acquiring what the data is actually over there. You need to basically verify. And how to verify is you can do this by creating hash. The MD5 hashes are there. We will see this process because this is one of the important process. You need to maintain the integrity of the data. So let's move further to the examination of what about the examination after data has been collected. The next phase is to examine the data. This process involves assessing and extracting the relevant pieces of information from the collected data. This phase may also involve bypassing the operating system and application features that obscure data and code, such as data compression, encryption, and access control mechanism. So at this stage you need to separate the data files from the separate data and evidence. You need to basically identify the possible evidence. You don't know what evidence is at this stage. You need to basically create a differentiation. Well, because an acquired hard drive or storage media may contain hundreds of thousands of data files. Identifying the data files that contain information of interest. At this stage, as I said, that you need to separate the data of your interest so that you can get the evidence out of it. You need to basically separate the data. So analysis. Well, once the relevant information has been extracted, the forensic expert should study and analyze the data to draw conclusions from it. The analysis should include identifying people, places, items, and events, and determining how these elements are related so that a conclusion can be reached. So at this stage you need to basically finalize the evidence. You need to basically you need to create the link between the events, the name, the people, the places, so that basically you can draw the conclusion. And because in the last step, in the reporting step, you need to draw the conclusion. The final phase is the reporting, which is the process of preparing and presenting the information resulting from the analysis phase. So this is the first step process of computer forensics. Sounds very interesting, right? At the first step, you need to collect the information, collect the data, examine the data, analysis, and the reporting. We will see them. But what about the disk imaging? Basically, disk imaging is very important concept, because while after basically you identify the sources of data, you need to acquire them. And disk imaging is the part of the data acquisition process, where you create the exact copy of the storage media found from the crime scene. Why disk imaging? Basically, as I said, that disk imaging is nothing but to make the exact copy of the storage media, because you should never ever work on the original storage media. This is the key in computer forensics. You should never ever work, because the important information might be lost, and at the end you will have nothing in your hand to prove in the code. Basically, you should save the original file and you should create the disk image of that media, so that you can analyze it. Do not touch the original file. Create the disk image. Again, I'm saying do not work on the original file. You should take because in the code you need to prove that you maintain the integrity of the data. You have not altered anything, you have not damaged anything, you have not inserted anything basically. So creating a disk image file of target is the first step of any digital investigation. Well, in any investigation, analysis is not done on the original data storage device, but instead of the exact copy taken. So this is and one more important thing is that disk imaging, this process, it doesn't even copy the data but the structure of the storage media too. You need to understand the structure of the storage media, what about the file system, the file structure of the volatile and the memory information. There are many things in the computer forensic science that you should understand, otherwise you will damage the data and the possible evidence to protect the original storage media and save it to store safe place to maintain the integrity of the data. And the evidence, let's discuss the evidence. Digital evidence is anything that could be stored or transmitted by using an electronic device. As Wikipedia defines as, you need to find the evidence because it is hidden and sometimes it has already been deleted or removed, so you need to recover it. Recovering file recovery is the part of computer forensic process, because after any attack or after any case, the suspect or the basically criminals used to destroy the evidence, the data, the files. So it is hidden, the evidence is hidden or might be deleted or already been removed. You need to identify, you need to find the evidence, and even sometimes you need to understand that this particular file is an evidence. Sometimes evidence is in front of you and you even don't understand what evidence is and where the evidence is. So to understand the to get the evidence, you need to understand the nature of the evidence, you need to understand the characteristics of the evidence. Hidden is one of the important characteristics of the evidence. Evidence is not basically available in the screen. You need to find it, you need to unearth it. Well, timing, another important characteristic is to act quickly. Timing is crucial, because if you don't respond quickly, then you might miss or lose the important evidence, and even the evidence might get damaged in the crime scene. So this is why the incident handlers or the first responder is there in computer forensic, in IT security. It is incident handlers or the first responder job to act immediately and to go to the crime scene, secure the scene, and so that the possible evidence could not be damaged, because there are many people who basically try to enter in the crime scene, who might damage intentionally or unintentionally. This is the another discussion, but sometimes the data or the evidence might get lost. Simple is that. So this is the basic introduction and the processes that we are going to discuss, and we will do the practical. So let's close this chapter. We have discussed the basic idea of computer forensics, its processes, the evidence, and the disk imaging. From the next chapter you will witness the actual process, and I recommend you to practice it so that you can get the better idea. So see you in the next chapter. Till time, take care of yourself.